We complete process number 9, which is scripting, and we move on to the process of virtual reality, we look at what those subtle small differences are. But for today, let's get into scripting. So Abraham says when to use this process: when you are feeling good and want to add specifics to what you are creating in your life experience, when you want the thrill of identifying and writing down things you would like to experience and then seeing the universe deliver to you the details you described, when you want to consciously experience the power of your specifically focused thought. So the current emotional set point range for this process is 2, which is passion, and hopefulness, which is 6. What does that mean? It means that this process is to be done when you're already feeling fantastic. Abraham recommends not to do this process when you are lower down on the emotional scale. And the reason is because the emotional scale, you can't jump up the emotional scale. And if you go specific, if you start talking about the specifics of the things that you want, the details, the fine print, and if you don't know that you're on the negative side of the emotional scale, you can actually end up hurting yourself, not in the sense that you would actually be hurt, but in the sense that it would just take longer for you to manifest the thing that you want to manifest. And that's why. Because when you become specific, and if you're lower on the emotional scale and you become specific at that time, you create attachment to the outcome. And any time that you create attachment to the outcome, you actually push those things that you want further away from you instead of bringing them closer to you. Okay, so let's take a look at what Abraham is saying. So Abraham is talking to us about Esther watching television. And they say Esther turned on television one evening and found herself immediately captivated by a movie that was well underway. And the movie was about this man who had a magical typewriter. So every day he described things on his magical typewriter, and then those things happened exactly the way he had typed them out. So if a situation was not going the way he wanted it to, he went to his typewriter and wrote an improved version, and that scenario would then play out in his life experience. So Abraham says that it really is that simple. That really is how the universe responds to the things that we want. For as soon as we think about them, they are already on their way. Unless we are blocking them with our thoughts. And how do we block them with our thoughts? We block them with our thoughts when we ask where they are, how they are going to come. And if you're not feeling joyous, if you're not feeling excited about the day tomorrow, if you're not looking forward to it, then what that means is that we are low on the emotional scale. And from a place that's low on the emotional scale, it is not a good thing to become specific, because when you become specific from a low place on the emotional scale, you're actually looking at the absence of what you want rather than the presence of what you want. And if you were doing so, then that would just hurt your chances of getting there fast. So really, the difference is in the timing. If you become specific while you are lower down on the emotional scale, the only thing that's affected is timing. Timing, and maybe you'll have a rougher ride getting to the things that you want instead of having a smoother ride. So it is about timing, and it is about the smoothness or the enjoyment of the journey as you make your way towards the things that you want. So, okay, so let's go forward then. So the scripting process is about pretending, because the universe doesn't care whether you are responding emotionally to something that has actually happened or whether your emotional response is based on something that you have conjured in your mind. It doesn't matter. The universe doesn't care, but the universe always responds to the way you're feeling. So this is how the scripting process works. Pretend that you are a writer and that whatever you write will be performed exactly as you write it. And you see here again, it's all about trust, just like the previous process was all about trust. If you're going to hand things over to the universe, you have to relinquish responsibility for them and give that responsibility over to the universe, trusting that the universe is going to look after that as much as you would. Because the universe is not separate from you, the universe is very much a part of you, or you are part of the universe. As you're having fun playing this game, so remember, those are key words. As you're having fun playing this game and are not taking it too seriously. So remember, don't do this game in order to make something happen. Because when you try to make something happen, that word try means that you're making an effort. And any time that you're making an effort, it's not as much fun as it could be if you were not making effort. There is joy. When there is joy, there's no effort. It's effortless. Things happen automatically. And if you are not in that place where you feel that way, do not do anything. Okay? So remember these words. As you are having fun playing this game and are not taking it too seriously, any of your hindering beliefs are less likely to be activated. So when you don't take things seriously and effort is not involved in your in the way you're approaching what is before you, then that means that your hindering beliefs are not activated at that point in time. In other words, by pretending that your typewriter, word processor, computer, or notebook is magical and that whatever you write can be realized, you accomplish the two things that are necessary in the achievement of anything. What are those two things? You focus the lens of your desire and you offer no resistance. So when you focus on what you desire without any resistance, it has to come right away. This process will help you to be more specific about your desires and with that greater clarity about exactly what you do desire. Now remember, you are to do this process when you're high up on the emotional scale in the realm of the vortex. Not just in the positive region, but actually in the vortex. If you do this process while you are in the vortex, you will shorten the timing to your manifestation. But don't do it in order to make something happen, because if you do it that way, then you'll do the process and you'll come out and you'll say, Zara, nothing happened. How come I did scripting and nothing happened for me? Well, it didn't happen for you because you didn't do it properly. You have to know where you are on the emotional scale before you attempt this. Okay, now I'm going to read some really beautiful words from Abraham. Abraham says, you are the vibrational writers of the script of your life, and everyone else in the universe is playing the part that you have assigned to them. You can literally script any life that you desire, and the universe will deliver to you people, places, and events just as you decide them to be. For you are the creator of your own experience. You have only to decide it and allow it to be. I can tell you from my own experience, the one time where I did this scripting process, I haven't done it for many years. Maybe I will do it tonight. But I remember that when I did do the scripting process, I was surprised. I was surprised at what happened because I wrote about waking up and working from home and having time to meditate and exercise in the morning. And I just described my day. The difference I made when I did the scripting process was that I realized that it's not about manifesting the things that you want to manifest, but it is about feeling the feeling. And if you can conjure the feeling, then you're doing it right. It's about the feeling. So Abraham says scripting is one of those processes that we offer to assist you in telling the universe the way you want it to be. You cannot tell the universe the way you want it to be when you are below the worry line. Because when you are below the worry line, the vibration that you're sending out, you are, remember this, so I explained to you many times over the chapters that we've been studying that everything has two sides to it. So if this was the money stick, on one side is the having of money and on the other side is the absence of it. Picking up the money stick and thinking about it without knowing which way you're focused is counterproductive. You've got to know which way you're focused. So if you are focused on the having side of it, and then you do the scripting process, it will get you the results that you want. But if you do the scripting process from here, from a place of not having enough, then the scripting process is going to make things worse for you because you will have activated negative beliefs. You would have created attachment. Okay, so scripting will help you break your habit of talking about things as they are and will help you to begin talking about how you would like things to be. That is a really important difference. We have to talk about where we are going instead of talking about where we've been or where we are. Scripting will help you offer your vibration deliberately. So, and then Abraham goes on and they say, we would begin by identifying ourselves as the central character. Then we would identify the other main characters in the scenario, and then we would write the plot. It is most effective if you write it, especially in the beginning, because writing is your most powerful point of focus. Why? Because when we are writing, we stay in that vibration that we are generating. We stay in that vibration for a longer period of time. When you think it, you're only there for 4 seconds. So when you speak it, you're in that thought for 10 seconds. When you write it, you're in that thought maybe, perhaps, for 30 seconds or even a minute. So that's the difference. You just stay in that positive feeling place for longer when you're writing things out. And then Abraham tells us a story. One day a woman was practicing one of her scripts with us, and she said, I see 2 people walking down the beach. We teased her by asking, well, are you one of them? The point we were making was that the whole point of writing the script is to begin to feel life experiences in the way you would like to live them. And I don't know if you guys have seen the first version of the Secret movie, but in the Secret movie, the one that Abraham was part of, they use this example of visualization. So this is really a way of doing visualization, except that you are writing it out. If you regurgitate your script often enough, you begin to accept it as reality. And when you are accepting it in a way you accept reality, the universe believes it and responds in the same way. All right, so folks, this brings us to the end of the chapter. However, what I thought I would do, which I think is fun, is long ago I was listening to one of Abraham's video clips or one of their workshops, and in that workshop Abraham talked about the scripting process, and they called it the creative workshop. So what I did was that I transcribed that process in that video clip. And I did have that clip on my old Abraham Hicks channel, but Abraham decided that they had better things in store for me. So here I am. So what I'm going to do is I am going to read this to you because it will give you an example, since an example is not contained in the book. So here's an example, and I love this example. I think it is fabulous. So it's called the Creative Workshop. Before you begin this process, it is important that you be happy. Remember that you have to be in a happy place in order to do this process. Your work here is to create a picture of you that satisfies and pleases you. So here is the process as narrated by Abraham. It is very detailed, it is amazing, and if anyone of you want the transcribed version of it, why don't you comment below creative process, and then I will find a way to get it to you, okay? So I'm going to read it out now. I see myself in a sort of total package, one that I know is of my own creating, and certainly a package of my own choosing. I am full of energy in this picture of myself, tireless and really moving through life experience without resistance. As I see myself gliding about, moving in and out of my car, in and out of buildings, in and out of rooms, in and out of conversations, and in and out of conversations, and in and out of life experiences, I see myself flowing effortlessly, comfortably, and happily. So this whole process, folks, is written in a way that it could be for anyone, right? It's so general that it's my process and it's also your process. So listen closely. I see myself attracting only those who are in harmony with my current intent. And I am clearer and clearer in every moment about what it is I want. When I get into my automobile and I am moving to a place, I see myself arriving, healthy and refreshed and on time, and prepared for whatever it is that I am about to do there. I see myself dressed to perfection in just the manner that I choose for myself, and it is nice to know that it matters not what others are choosing or what others are even thinking about what I am choosing. What is important is that I am pleased with me, and as I see myself, I certainly am. I recognize that I am unlimited in all facets of my life. I have a bank balance that is unlimited, and as I see myself moving through life experiences, it is exhilarating to know that there is nothing that I am choosing that is limited by money. I am making all of my decisions based upon whether I want the experience or not based upon whether or not I can afford the experience. For I know I am a magnet who attracts at any point whatever prosperity, health, and relationships I choose. I choose absolute and continuing abundance, for I understand that there is no limit to the abundance in the universe, and that my attracting abundance to myself, I am not limiting it for another. There is enough for everyone. The key is for each of us to see it and want it, and then we will each attract it. And so I have chosen unlimited, not necessarily putting a big stash away, for I understand that I have the power to attract it as I want it for whatever I want it for. And as I think of something else that I want, the money flows to me easily. So I have an unlimited supply of abundance and prosperity. There are abundant aspects in every area of my life. I see myself surrounded by others who like me, want growth, and who are drawn to me by my willingness to allow them to be, do, or have whatever they want, while I do not need to draw into my experience those things that they may be choosing that I do not like. I see myself interacting with others, talking, laughing, and enjoying that which is perfect in them, while they enjoy that which is perfect in me. All of us are appreciating one another, and none of us is criticizing or noticing those things that we do not like. I see myself in perfect health. I see myself in absolute prosperity. I see myself invigorated with life, again appreciating this physical life experience that I wanted so very much as I decided to be a physical being. It is glorious to be here as a physical being, making decisions with my physical brain, but accessing the power of the universe through the power of the law of attraction. And it is from this marvelous state of being that I now attract more of the same. It is good. It is fun. I like it very much. I will leave this workshop and I will set out during the remainder of this day to look for more things that I like. It is nice to know that if I see one who is prosperous but sick, I do not need to bring the whole package into my workshop, just the part that I like. So I will bring the example of prosperity and I will leave out the example of sickness. My work for now is done. How wonderful is that, right? Don't you just love those words from Abraham, and so general that they are true for all of us because all of us want those things. And so that is an example of doing the scripting process. That is a general example. You can get way more specific than that because when you are high up on the emotional scale, you can start describing things with colors and you can start describing who else is there with you. Basically, that whole process of visualization as it is taught by other teachers, not Abraham, not myself, other teachers who teach you to be specific about where you are, who is with you, what you're doing, how it smells, what music is playing. All of that is part of the scripting process. And folks, there's a video on my channel about visualization and why it doesn't work for people. Do go and listen to that because a lot of times people do visualization from a very negative place. If you're doing a visualization from a negative place, you cannot make it specific because if you do, then the whole process does not work. So call it what you want, whether you want to call it virtual reality, visualization, or scripting. The only difference is it is all the same thing. It's about imagining your life, but in the scripting process, we are not closing our eyes and seeing the visualization, we are writing it down. This process is especially useful for those people who are auditory. So we know that there are three main learning strategies. People are either kinesthetic, which means that they like to do it themselves. They have to do it with their own hands. They have to figure it out on their own. That's kinesthetic. Visual people who learn when you explain things to them by drawing things out in a visual way. That's when they are able to follow best. And auditory people are those people who pay more attention to words, intonations, the sound of your voice, the vibration, the pitch. Those are auditory people. Words are important to auditory people rather than pictures. And so this process is extremely useful for those people who are auditory. And one of the reasons that Abraham composed these processes is because Esther is auditory. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that this session was useful. I hope you enjoyed that last part of narration. And if you like that and if you want me to share that, let me know because I will do so. I will post a separate video with that narration on it. Okay, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining me once again. Love you lots, and I will be back again tomorrow with another process from the book. Where is it? From the book. Here we go. Ask and it is given. Have a good night. Bye for now.